All right. All right. You've had some chaos.
I did.
You've had some chaos with a capital K. I don't
Yes.
know. Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah.
So a tornado hit your neighborhood
Yeah,
and
it hits
floated
it,
right over your house?
not it's like around the house, but not right over it. Like my neighborhood itself is fine, but the neighborhood over, they've had some destruction. One of the schools was destroyed, homes were destroyed, and from my city into two cities past me. It was a huge tornado. I don't they someone said it was an F2. I don't know what all that means, but
I don't know
140
either.
hour 140 mile per hour winds up to 180.
Yeah, it doesn't take much actually to lift a
Yeah.
few things and break
Yeah.
glass. You just break
I went
glass and you have trouble.
yeah. I went
Um,
driving around this morning and there were overturned 18 wheelers, and my mom was holding up
wow.
the phone and recorded as we were going down the street, because people that don't live here, they don't know what it means. We do mostly hurricanes, so tornadoes are not as common.
Right.
So,
That's wild. That's hard to
yeah.
focus on you and your needs in your life, but that's what coaching is really focused on.
Right.
Um, so let's just take a few minutes. And what I'd like to do, because we haven't had a lot of time to focus down on your progress so far, because you entered this coaching experience not really knowing exactly what coaching was. You knew
Right.
you
Right.
wanted health, and you knew
Yes.
you had that there was some goal setting in each and every session, and that was
Right.
based on what was important to you today. Your first goal was based on an MRI, which seems
Yes.
really small now looking backwards. That
Yes.
seems like that was the whole first session, but we were getting to know each other, and
Right.
we were covering all of your experience, which has been huge. It
Yeah.
has been a huge experience. So what do you think coaching has done for you so far? This is session 4.
Coaching has really helped me. It's taking all the information that's thrown at you, or the information you think's important, and really narrowing it down to personalize it to you. For some reason, whenever you're talking to you, you help us focus on and individualizing it to us, and showing, get rid of this information. This is what you need to be focusing on.
I'm actually following you through your experience. And then I ask you, what is the most important thing? And you're the one selecting that important thing. But it is based on me inserting a few corrections along the way. But really, you're the expert on your life. And I don't know 100% of what's going on with you.
I
You're
think it's the
experiencing
way you
all of your life.
question. I don't know if the word question is. Oh,
It is.
sorry, it froze. The connection's not the best, but it says it's unstable. But I'm still hearing you.
Yeah, it is questions. I specialize in questions,
Yeah.
actually. I have lots of answers, but I think you have run across a lot of this information. And then we do need to make it personal. We need to organize it based on urgency that you experience, right? I am not going to know. I know all the science that just kind of sits there, and then making it into an action plan is going to be based on your life today, right? Because I don't know all the things coming together for you, what really is going to move the needle for your health.
Can you help
So,
connect the dots? Because I remember the last session, something you said made me realize, oh, for example, how I've had this back injury for 2 years, but it didn't become this
oh yeah,
intense until after I had my hysterectomy. And you were talking about how pain comes up when your estrogen levels aren't correct. And because I was sitting there questioning, why is my back so bad? Nothing's changed in this last year. And when you said that, it helped me connect the dots, like, okay, that's why. And that helps me
right,
focus okay on that area of my life that I need to make sure is optimized.
right. Because if you went to a pain specialist, they would never say your estradiol's not working and your testosterone's not there yet. So
Right.
those two things are involved in pain perception. And so
Right.
you could have the same pain, one pain, then have a hysterectomy or a menopause, and then the pain is boosted. And you're
Mhm.
like, did I injure myself worse? Did
Yeah.
something happen worse? And it's perception of pain, it's how your body manages that pain. So
Right.
actually, the other advantage to the hormones is they're healing hormones. They're used to heal things. So if we
Right.
don't get that done, we can't start the up trajectory of health. We can't start that moving up towards healing until we get
Right.
those things in place.
I agree.
Yeah. So that's wonderful. I do remember you connecting the dots. A light
Yeah.
bulb goes on above
Yeah.
your head, and I could see like, oh, see, I wasn't really sure that you knew that or not, right?
Right.
I'm always guessing, does she know these things? Because I don't want this to turn into a lecture. I need it to
Right.
be about your experience. You're schooling me because it's about your life and what's
Yeah.
happening in your life. So, and we've kind of gone through different things have been important in different sessions, but our
Mhm.
sessions have been pretty spaced out. So our sessions have been more like a month apart or 3 weeks to a
Right.
month apart.
Right.
And if they tighten up a little bit more, then you might start working on the same goal in a couple different sessions. Sometimes you'll get focused on just one thing and it's hard to tackle.
Right.
So it's all based on your needs.
Yes.
Yeah. So what has happened since the last event and what's really sticking out for you right now? What's the thorn in your side?
Well, a lot has happened since our last session. I'm raising my
Yeah,
so as you know, I had the blood work results and I was terrified when I got the results.
right.
Terrified. I've always had perfect blood results. My blood sugar had been high before, but not that high where they've never said anything to me. But going back and looking at my old blood blood work, I was like, okay, it was up a little bit, but they never said anything. So whenever I got that results, that does not run in my family. So I was just shocked when I got the results, and I'm like, what's different in my life? The only thing I could think of was the things I mentioned. I had COVID, I had hysterectomy, and then stress or whatever. But so that day, because I got it early, because sometimes I'll check my emails when I'm still in bed, and it was like, I don't know, 6:30 a.m. that Saturday morning. I immediately got up because I was terrified. Immediately got up, went downstairs into my pantry and threw away anything that was boxed, like cereals, anything, actually not anything that was boxed, anything that's my trigger, chips,
Mm,
cereal. Because I mean, the candy, believe it or not, don't eat candy. I don't eat really
right,
sweets. I don't really taste sweets. When I eat sweets, I don't taste them that well. So they're not, I'm a carbohydrate, salty, crispy person. And
right.
so anything that would be when I knew I was going to have to eat better, that would trigger me that I couldn't like just take one. I'd open up the garbage can and just start throwing it away. From that moment on, I've never been so dedicated to eating healthy ever. I've lost 9 pounds since I got my blood results. All I've been eating
And
is
that was
exact
that was 1 or 2 weeks ago. That was
right.
quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only been eating kind of like how you directed me, nutrient dense foods. I
Right.
don't know if I'm eating perfect yet, but I'm eating based on what I'm learning. I'm definitely doing much better than I was eating before, but I
Sure.
only eat vegetables, fruits, meats, and oatmeal, like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, I'm not gonna have that. I'm not going to have diabetes. I'm just not. I don't want
It's
that
shocking when you see numbers on a page,
in
then you're
red.
like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
This means I'm old. This means I'm
yeah,
broken. This means I'm going to lose my eyesight. This means I'm going to lose a limb. This
right,
means I'm going to, I mean, there's just, it affects diabetes, affects all of your veins, it affects all your tissues, right? Because you're
right,
just not processing your sugar correctly. And
right.
so but this is reversible, right? So there's,
Right.
um, yeah,
And
because it's diet and exercise and sleep. All of those things will fold into those numbers.
I said, I'm not going to. I said, y'all just have to understand that I can't eat like you. I can't have a little cake or a little, actually, it's not cake, that's a problem. I said, I can't have a few French fries because I'll eat the whole French fry, not even thinking about it. I can't have one chip, I'll eat the whole bag of chips. I'm just going to be a person. I'm going to have to treat myself as if I was an addict, that I can't have just a little bit, at least for a long time, until I get control of of my health,
Right.
because I don't want to start. Being this far into it, I don't want to start over. I have no desire to start over. And that's when I knew how dedicated I was, because I stood up to them and said no, because it was every day, have a little bit of Coke, have a little bit of this, have a little bit of that. No, I can't. I'm not like y'all. I've fought my weight for 10 years now, probably. They've been thin their whole lives. I can't, I
Yeah.
eat the same as them, yet I have the problem and they don't.
Right.
So my mom eats chocolate that, like, there's no tomorrow. She has no, her blood sugar's perfect.
You know
I don't,
what you
I
did
don't
right
care.
there? You drew a beautiful boundary. You are creating new relationships that can fit into your healthy lifestyle. So instead of excluding them entirely, you masterfully explained, here's the boundary for my health. Here's how important it is to me right now. I feel like I have this moment in time to make a difference in my entire future, my
Right.
entire future. And you're experimenting. You're trying to move anything that's going to manage those numbers. And you know
Right.
that every bite goes towards managing those numbers. So
Yes.
instead of you kind of bracing yourself against them, you've actually pulled them closer to your side because you've softened them a little bit. You're
Right.
not providing the solution for me. I'm providing the solution for me. I'm a grown up. I can do this.
Yes.
And I love you, but it's my time.
I even took it a step further and I said, if you're eating, please don't ask me if I want something to eat. If
That's
I'm
nice.
cooking, if I'm cooking, I'll ask you if you want something to eat, but please don't ask me, because I'm so used to eating because it's time to eat and not
Yeah.
listening to myself if I'm hungry. I'm so used to just having breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and whatever it is I decide to eat because someone's cooking. Hey, do you want something to eat? Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't eaten. Okay. And now that I'm eating the way I am, I get hungry. I mean, I really get hungry, where I'm like, okay, I have to be at home at this time because I won't eat out. I'm not eating out. I'm not eating fast foods. I did have a Chick-fil-A wrap, but I took off the tortilla because I was so hungry and I hadn't gone to the grocery store yet. So I just ate the inside of it. But,
Right.
you
So
know, I
you
told
found
them,
a fast solution that
yeah,
minimized the carbs.
yes, that, and that's I
Yeah.
learned was the carbs. But I did tell them, like, you just do not ask me for food. Do not ask me to have your food if you're, and it's nicer than what I'm saying to you, but I'm like, if you're cooking, don't ask me if I want something. If you're eating, don't ask me if I want something, because I know what it'll be. No, thank you. Oh, just a little bit. Oh, no, I'm good. Oh, just have a taste. I made this. I know how it's going to be because it's how it's been my whole life. And now I'm in
Right.
my situation where they've pushed and pushed, where you're like, fine, I'll have a piece of cake just to hush them. And then look at, they don't gain weight like I do. They're thin, you
Right.
know.
And
So
so how did you feel when you drew that boundary? And you're continually doing this, but how did you feel when you did that?
I, it was uncomfortable, but they listened and they never listened. And I think when I told them, look, I have a problem, and you always talk to me about my weight and you'll always complain about my weight. Every day I hear something about my
Oh
weight,
my gosh.
yet you're not part of this. You're, like you said, you're not part of the solution. You make it harder for me. Or like, I buy a lot of fruit. You've got to lose some of the fruit for me. Or if I buy a lot of vegetables, you're happy to, I buy double what I need. So there's enough for everyone, you know, so little things. I mean, it sounds rude, but I had to say it because I've been through this before, not the diabetes thing, but I've been through trying to lose weight before. And
Sure.
buckled because of pressure of, well, just eat. You've got to eat a little bit. It won't hurt. Everyone needs to splurge now and again. I can't splurge.
Right.
I can't. My health's too important. I do not want to be missing a foot or whatever happens when you have diabetes. I don't know what
Right.
happens, but I know it. You lose your eyesight, and like you said,
It
start
does happen.
losing. Yeah, I
You
don't. I'm
lose
not.
the sensation. What happens is you lose the sensation at the end of your hands and your feet. And so you start injuring yourself over and over again. And it just won't heal. It just has too much sugar in the bloodstream. You can no
Yeah,
longer heal. So they have to take off feet. You've seen these
yeah.
people at Walmart with no legs. And
No, I
you
don't want that.
nobody helped them.
Yeah,
They didn't understand that diet, exercise, sleep, and for us, HRT
right.
is going to be, we got a fourfold solution. We've got four levers that we can push on. Um, because
Right.
part of the reason that you do have these numbers suddenly is low hormones.